Hello, everyone. I'm Rabbi Michael Shields, Associate Rabbi here at Temple Sinai. In Judaism, as Jews, here at Temple Sinai, we strive to lead with our values. And so as we continue this weekly series that touches on the Haftarah, we've renamed it the weekly Middah, the weekly value. And we will look at values each week through the lens of the weekly Haftarah. Judaism doesn't simply ask us what to believe, it asks us how to live. And so we'll look at the Haftarah not just as an ancient text, but as a guide to a Middah, a Jewish character value that can shape who we are, how we treat one another, and how we bring holiness into our everyday lives. The Haftarah in this way becomes more than just a weekly cyclical reading. It becomes an invitation to live our Jewish values in the week ahead. Welcome to the weekly Middah through the lens of Haftarah, where each week we'll explore a Jewish value that emerges from the words of the prophets and consider how it might shape our lives in the week ahead and reflect on the week that has passed. This week, our Middah is anava, humility. And it can be found in our Haftarah. Our Haftarah comes from the prophet Micah, who lived during a time of political turmoil. There was social division and spiritual uncertainty. People were asking questions that feel very familiar today. What does God want from us? How do we live meaningful lives? What really matters? Micah's answer comes in one of the most beloved verses in all of Jewish tradition. What does Adonai require of you? Only to do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. A stunning statement. Micah imagines people asking whether God desires grand sacrifices, dramatic displays of piety, or extravagant offerings. But the prophet cuts through all of that. He says that the heart of Judaism is not found in spectacle. It is found in character. Do justice, love kindness, walk humbly. And of these three, humility could be the one we struggle with most. Why? Well, we live in a culture that encourages us to promote ourselves, defend our opinions, and project certainty. When not channeled properly, humility can sound like weakness or lack of confidence. Luckily for us, Jewish tradition understands humility very differently. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is seeing yourself honestly. It means recognizing your strengths while also recognizing that you don't know everything. It means understanding that your voice matters, but it's not the only voice that matters. It means approaching life with curiosity instead of with certainty, with gratitude instead of entitlement. One of the great ironies of our tradition is that Moses, the leader who confronted Pharaoh, who split the seas, God split the seas, of course, and guided the nation through wilderness, is described by Torah as the most humble person on earth. His humility didn't make him passive. It made him teachable, coachable, as we might say in baseball speak. It made him compassionate. It allowed him to carry responsibility without making everything about himself. And perhaps that's why humility appears here in Micah's vision. Justice without humility can become self-righteousness. Kindness without humility can become performative. Humility keeps us grounded. It reminds us that every person we meet carries a story we may not know and wisdom we may not yet understand. The value feels especially important in Jewish community. The strongest congregations are not built by people who think alike. They are built by people who listen to to one another, who learn from one another, who make room for one another. Humility allows us to disagree without dismissing. It allows us to lead without controlling. It allows us to serve without seeking recognition. And so as we look towards a new season at Temple Sinai, yes, July leads to August, leads to September and the High Holy Days. Humility invites us to ask some important questions. Where can I listen more deeply? Where might I have something to learn? How can I contribute my gifts while also honoring the gifts of others? And how might our community grow if we approached one another with a little more curiosity and a little less certainty? Micah teaches that the religious life is not treasured by how loudly we proclaim our faith. It's measured by how faithfully we embody our values: justice, kindness, humility. Simple words, but lifelong work. May this be the week that we practice anava and carry it forward in our lives. May we have the courage to learn, the wisdom to listen, and the grace to recognize the divine image in every person we encounter. May we do justice, may we do kindness, may we love kindness, and may we walk humbly with our God. Shabbat Shalom.